or now 13 minutes gone past the 4 o'clock hour. I am Kala Dakurubatu and this is Hard Facts, and we'll look at some hard facts on the show right about now as we talk about cost of governance. So if you've gone through some of the pages of the newspapers that were published today, you would have seen headlines like RMAFC defends jumbo pay of NAS members' orders. And if you read that very report in any of the newspapers, you would have seen the chairman of that commission, Mohammed Shehu, telling the news platform or a news platform in Abuja that it was untrue that public office holders were getting jumbo salaries. I mean, what you and I would usually say is the cost of governance is high as a result of the jumbo pay that they pay, the president, the legislators, the governors, and all of that stuff. But he's saying that it's not how it's done. It's not the process. He says, I want to disabuse the minds of Nigerians. It is not true that people are getting jumbo salaries. Last June, the RMAFC boss had said the salaries of politicians, judicial and public office holders would be increased by 114%. Now, in that argument, he said the president was earning less than 1.5 million naira, while ministers earn less than 1 million naira. And then he went ahead to argue that an average CBN worker that is not even a director earns more than ministers, while people in NNPCL, NCC, Ports Authority earn huge salaries, and the governor's salary or even the president or a legislator's salary cannot be compared to these salaries. And that's why I have brought a public affairs analyst who is very, very, very adept with political matters. I'm talking about Dr. Isaac Nwadiunor. Good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Canada. My name is Nwadiunor Isaac, Mr.
Okay. I saw doctor there, so I used it, but no problem. Welcome. What do you think about what the Revenue Mobilization Commission chairman has said, that we need to improve the salaries of public office holders, even though not now because of the current economic realities, but eventually would need to up the salaries of these individuals because they are not earning enough? Let's get your take.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's start from somewhere. Opinion is sacrosanct.
Okay.
So the man may have also spoken his personal view, his personal opinion, but he's not the mouthpiece of government. That's one. Even though he's a government functionary, issues of revenue mobilization and special commission are very sensitive, especially at a time like this where Nigerians are grappling with the pains of poverty. I'm sure you are aware of that.
All right, yeah, I am.
Yeah, so he may have spoken, but another perspective to it is, where is he from? Please don't misconstrue me when I say where is he from. I'm talking about his social background. Is he a Marxist? Is he a bourgeois? Is he a scholar? Or is he a politician?
All right.
If he's a politician, then I have no complaint about that, because politicians have little or no value for money. It is in their culture to spend.
Okay.
Their name is expenditure. So there's nothing wrong when he talks like a politician. Canada, I want you to look at it from this perspective, that as I'm talking to you now, there are people who have not seen their breakfast since morning. Those people are not looking for salary increment. All they are just asking is, they are looking for what will put food on their table.
Okay.
Averagely in Nigeria today, for you to eat a decent food, is not less than 1,500. If you decide to go the option of buka, by the time you struggle with 500 naira, there could be something in your tummy which falls short of United Nations standard of people who are below poverty line. So in this context, I think I have situated the argument on who we are, what we represent, and others. Politicians are in the habit of wearing very smart clothes, making public statements. Available to them are resources of the state, which are allocated because they have access to it. So when you talk about jumbo pay, they will tell you that what they are earning is still not enough. So, but in the actual context, talking about cost of governance, because I know that is where we are going to. We say that cost of governance is a fraction of the budget that is spent in order to get things done, whether it is high, low, medium, or what. This is where I like to situate this discussion. Thank you.
All right. So before you move on, you should understand that the Commission's duty is to review. One of it is to review the salary structure of public office holders, and the chairman is arguing that the last time a review was done was in 2008. Now, he did say that a lot of people think that public service holders earn huge amounts, but in reality, what they earn is meager, and all of those allowances that are touted in several media spaces, money is used for the running of those offices. So sometimes the money does not get to them, but is appropriated on their behalf by the leadership of the National Assembly, if you're looking at the National Assembly, or if it's the executive arm of government, the leadership of the executive arm. But it does not necessarily get to these people. For instance, they have to buy computers, they have to pay for transportation, they have to do these, they have to fuel the vehicles, and he's arguing that the allowances don't get to them directly. And looking at our country that has been plagued by corruption, don't you think a review is inevitable?
Canada, everybody needs a review, from the class teacher to the local government worker to the politician and all. If the review is equitable, there is no problem. But if it is lopsided, that is where the problem is. I agree that the mandate of the commission is to review salary of politicians. The argument that the money don't get to them is not tenable, because it is even against official protocol for you to become a contractor where you work. The issue is that those budgets that are expended on computer and others, do they eventually have the system at their disposal to do the work of government? And what is the productivity rate of people who are even doing this job? I don't want to cite example. There was one time somebody in the Federal Civil Service was a contractor and made away with the money of pensioners. Was that one budgeted for too? So there are so many sides to it. Like you mentioned, Nigeria is corrupt. There's no doubt about that. But if budgets have been actually prepared and such things are placed such that they say it does not get to them, it does not have to get to them. What they need is tools for the job. So we should begin to look at this. If it was actually supplied, the tools were supplied for them to do the job, at what cost? This is where the argument now comes in. I don't know whether I get my line of thought.
I get your line of thought. Yeah. At what cost?
That's the line of thought. But that the money don't get to them. The money does not have to get to them. Even mentioning it is even giving or trying as much as possible to further the concept of corruption. That's true. So if the things actually got to them, number one, and the appropriate one was actually what was actually in the procurement paper got to them, what Nigeria should be concerned with now is at what cost did it get to them? And when did it get to them so that they can do the job? So if these two questions are not addressed, then there's no need going further.
Okay, so I want to ask the question now. Are you saying a 1.5 million naira is enough for a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
I think let me use the common language here. Let's say boju boju. Does the president actually earn 1.5 million?
But that's what it says officially.
We live in Nigeria now, so you understand what I'm talking about. Of what use is 1.5 million naira to the president when he budgets as much as 200 billion?
But that's where this conversation, is coming from. So should we now pay him more so he doesn't have to dip his I'm not saying he does, but he doesn't have to dip his fingers into the collective money or the collective purse?
Well, salaries are statutory. The president knew that is what his pay was going to be before he applied for the job. That's the simple truth. Let me leave it there.
I'm still going to ask you again. 1.5 million is, in your opinion, do you think it's enough for the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
Absolutely yes.
It's enough.
It's enough.
In a country like ours, where they are the economic realities.
No, are you talking of reality, or you want us to live in a world of utopia?
No, in reality, actually.
That's what I'm telling you. Does the president buy Gary for himself?
Interesting.
Does he fuel his car? Does he pay house rent? I don't know whether I get it.
I get you.
So these are the running expenses. Are his children still in school? How much is his tax? If these things are considered, then 1.5 million is enough for the president. It's a sign. If he earns that amount of money and it's not actually going beyond that, it's a sign of transparency and honesty. True.
All right. We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, I'll be asking you now, given the figures that we have seen as published by the Commission's chairman, where do you think all of these wealth that we see career politicians, what was it called now? We see them display. Where do you think all of these wealth are coming from? When we come back from the commercial break, we'll get your thoughts on that. Please just stay tuned.
It's all right. Thank you.
Before
Nigeria Info.
All right, 27 minutes getting past the 4 o'clock hour. If you are just joining us, you're listening to 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am Kala Dakorubatwa, and this is Hard Fact. And we're looking at a topic that is themed on the cost of governance, and it has to do with the RMAFC, that's the Revenue Mobilization Commission, coming out to say that public office holders, that's legislators, governors, president, ministers, thereabout, are not earning enough. And it says the president earns just 1.5 million naira, and the people in the CBN or in NNPCL who earn way more than the president. And the conversation is, do we need to increase the pay of the president or even the ministers, or just as a way to tackle corruption? Because some people argue that judges need to earn more, and judges are part of the public service officers or public office holders, and that they need to earn more, so they are not they're not what's the word now, prone to bribery and corruption and all of that stuff. I've got a guest, Mr. Isaac Nwadiunor. Good afternoon to you once again.
Thank you so much.
All right, so I asked a question before we went on break, and I said we've seen public service holders, governors, ministers, presidents flaunt wealth. Some of them have been in government since 1999, and that's the only business we know that they do. And yet they have all of this wealth that they flaunt. Given the figures that we get to see, that 1.5 million for the president, about 1 million for the governor, less for ministers, where do you think all of these monies are coming from? Given that there is no corruption indictment on some of these people, I wouldn't say any of them, some of these people who have been in government for so long.
If there's an adage in my place that is when a child is too inquisitive, pepper will enter his eye. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's one side to it. In popular Nigerian parlance, you say, leave waiting the right for motor, enter inside motor. Canada. That is where I'm going to situate the argument.
All right.
The truth of the matter is that once you are in the position of authority, the power to allocate is with you. And for you to be able to allocate, you don't allocate conservatively. You allocate generously. How do you explain it that the cost of doing 1 kilometer road is the equivalent of so and so million? Whether the place is a swamp, a solid place, or perhaps on a hill. Okay?
Yeah.
And by the time you now ask, they will say, well, the cost of procurement is this, the cost of this is this, the cost of security is this, all those ones are budgeted. Now, all these things also have a way of coming back as goodwill to some of these people in political offices. And that is why I want you to verify that most times government contractors actually have a way of saying thank you. The president, governors, or those authority, local government chairman, at the end of the year.
Okay.
They said, okay, please, I'm giving you 1 cow. It comes to you. The truth of the matter is that it's public fund that is being recycled, coming from overinflated budget. That's exactly what is happening. That is why I said don't probe that line of thought. The more you probe that line of thought, a lot will actually come out from there.
All right. Okay, so now you've said that it's okay for the president to earn 1.5 million, given that a lot of the things that he needs for his daily existence are provided by taxpayers. What about the judiciary? The judiciary have also been calling for an increase to their salaries and allowances. Some say it should be given to the judiciary because the judiciary is prone to manipulation, corruption as a result of them not earning enough. But they also get some of these benefits from taxpayers. So what do you make of it? Do you think if it's okay for the president not to get a salary increase, the judiciary should get a salary increase?
Okay, maybe I need to actually remind you of my ideological block, Canada.
All right.
I'm a Marxist by training.
Okay.
Now, the concept of Marxism is about, the factors of production and the relation of the factors of production. And so most times you can say that Marxism actually advocates conservatism.
Okay.
Now, when you begin to go for, from the Marxist point of view, if you are going for a political office, it is a service, pure service. Do you understand?
Yeah.
We give you the paraphernalia of the office. There's a medical package for you. That's number one. Your feeding and all others have been budgeted for. You are coming to render service. In fact, you should render the service, because through service, the society is improved. Through service, there is so much in terms of, the economic benefit. The factors of production are actually activated. Through service, the true value and excellence of human beings can be. That is why Thomas Aquinas once said that man is the measurement of all things. What is, what was, and what is to come. It is not what you earn that is the issue. So, but the concept in Nigeria is different. People go for political offices because they feel that the power to allocate is in their hand. Look, if the president feels that that money is not enough for him, he shouldn't apply for the office, because he knew from ab initio that is exactly what comes. The government called that. Nigeria is the only country where people serve in public offices. By the time they are coming out, they are so rich and they are richer than the state. It's not supposed to be. And tomorrow you come back and tell us that we should fight corruption. We should start with them, use them as example. It would be a historic thing that the president went to the office for 4 years, his salary was not increased, he didn't advocate for that. By the end of the day, Nigerians who were actually standing for him as a man of integrity will be higher than for him to sit down there, and then people that he has appointed or who are subject to his whim and caprices are improving his salary without asking. Actually, what the ordinary man would say is that the president has said, increase my salary.
Now, I like how you brought it from the Marxist angle or perspective, but let's come to the Nigerian perspective, where the common man bases his respect on how much you have. And the popular saying is, do you know who I am? Although we don't say it a lot these days due to the economic realities. But, we say, do you know who I am? Or I can feed your family, all of those stuff. So it's based on how much you have in your pocket. That's how much respect I give to you. Now, if the president is not earning as some of the big boys in society, would he get that requisite respect from the people he's leading? There's that angle as well. There's that angle to the conversation from where Shehu, was saying the president is not earning enough, but big boys in NNPCL and CBN are earning.
To the discussion of Canada.
Yeah, I'm listening.
The twist is this. Nigerians already knew that the president is a rich man.
Oh, okay.
That's true. Okay. Nigerians are aware that he's a rich man. You cannot deny the fact that the president was already a rich man before he became the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
He said so, yeah.
That's true. You can verify. How much is the president worth? So, he's not coming to collect salary so that he will build a house for himself tomorrow. I look forward to a day when people will serve in Nigeria and live meritoriously and allow the societies to actually maybe come up with an assessment of their person. Right. You will see that then Nigerian society has changed.
Oh, let's open the phone line.
The president does not need to neck around those who are actually the big boys in the society. As a matter of fact, the president is actually there to allocate, and in allocation, he should do it equitably to the people. It's not to enrich himself. That's exactly the norm.
All right, then. All right. Okay. We're going to open the phone lines right now and get the thoughts of the listeners who are currently listening. And then we'll have your final say after a while. All right. So if you want to join the conversation right now, use these numbers. Ring the studio right now. 0817-923-0002. First number. Second number. 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp 0809 0306 on Facebook. Nigeria Info PH Real Live. Shouldn't people in government earn well so as to end corruption? That's the question we're asking on Facebook. But for you listening via the radio, I want to ask you, what do you make of what my guest has said? He has said that it is service. You're going there to serve. Just like, corps members, when they go for service, their 1 year mandatory service, what they pay is what they get. They know they're going for it. They're going to serve, right? They're not going to earn. They're going to serve. And, if you serve well, according to my guest, you would have a better society, and not a society where things are expensive and inflation is high there, and you can afford the basic necessities of life. So what do you think about the conversation? I'd like to get your thoughts on these. 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 0003. Remember, we've got a call screener. She will take down your name, your location, and she will part you to me to get your contribution. We're live on Facebook, on YouTube, and active on X, Nigerian for PH for all platforms. But let's start with this one. It says political office holders in Nigeria earn and run one of the most expensive system of government, and salary structure actually for doing and adding nothing to the betterment and growth of the country. If actually we meant well for this country, the most important institutions to review salary structure are the Nigerian force, education sector, medical sector, judiciary. If at all, almost all the sectors in Nigeria need salary review as the economy isn't friendly. Ewa Rejoice Oji from Auda. But if all the sectors need salary review, what about the president, legislators, and the other people in government? But this one says it is only. Or is it only salary our politicians earn? What happens to the ridiculous and exorbitant allowances they take? What happens to the uncountable funds in their coffers? What happens to the exorbitant projects awarded to their own companies without due processes? Aniete is asking. But Aniete, I just talked about the allowance, and the chairman said they are usually not appropriated to them directly. Nonso from Diob, welcome on the show.
Evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, I think what the man have analyzed, I think the money is even too much, because people that are good can even do the work without even collecting salary.
Okay.
Because there are other benefits. Yes, that's my contribution. Thank you.
All right, then. Thank you very much. People will do the work without collecting salary. Really, I know we think sometimes that the work of the president is not as hard, but I like to think it's sometimes difficult, and it's sometimes very stressful. Hello, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
I'm on Avi.
What's your name?
Cannot.
All right, thank you very much for your time there. I do not know what's wrong with the phone lines, but keep trying. 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 0003. We're looking at cost of governance, and we're trying to get your thoughts on this. Let's see. On Facebook, Abraham Ajonugwa says, I have... Okay. That's not what we're doing. Akambaba Etukudo says, how are they not earning enough? And that's a question we're trying to answer. Prince Mayor says, earning well as how? Is that their family house? Okay. Keep those calls coming in. Payments? Okay, that's not what we're talking about. I've got Frank, and Frank is calling me from Transamadi. Let's take a listen to what Frank has to say. Hello, Frank.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
The line is terrible, but go ahead and let's try.
The line is cool. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, contributing to your discussion. When it comes to salary and wages.
Sorry, Frank, I've got to let you go. The phone line there is terrible. Clinton from Bori, welcome, Clinton. Let's hear you.
Canada, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon.
I actually don't know why we keep on repeating or bringing up this issue of the salary of legislators in this country, when the main issue have not been attended to. We want their salary to be increased, and they've not advocated for the salary of the civil servants, of teachers, of the businessmen. And where are we going to? What are they actually doing in the chamber? So I think if anybody needs salary increment, these are the public officers, the civil servants that are working every day contributing to the economy of the country, not just the legislators, please.
Okay. All right, then. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Someone says, good evening, Kalada. Do we talk about the salaries without talking about the allowances? He said, what of the youth security votes, Engineer Victor? All right, keep the messages coming since we're having issues with the calls. This one says, Kalada, good evening. Asito Car from mile 3. No Nigerian political office is difficult to operate based on how they run it here and the results we have been seeing. All right, then. Keep the calls coming in. Let's get to hear from you what you think and what your thoughts are. I know the phone lines are worrying, but let's just keep trying. Let's keep trying and let's get to hear what you think about this. 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. I do not know why the calls keep dropping, but I'm just going to go back to my guest now. All right, Mr. Isaac, let's get back to you pending when we get the phone lines fixed. Now,
I'm with you.
All right, okay. So now that we say service, now the next thing is how do we get our political elites to understand what service is? Because, like you said, the mentality is let's get there and make a wealth for ourselves. And you said, don't look at what is on the car, just get into the car. And that's how we're running our governance structure currently. So how do we get the leaders to understand service and to be conservative in how the public the public funds are expended?
Well, the operational word in your question is how.
Yeah.
And that word how is big and large.
All right.
Okay, let me now start from my own side here and gradually move into the discussion. Nigeria has an agency called National Orientation Agency.
Okay.
When last did you hear about the National Orientation Agency? And what exactly is the National Orientation Agency supposed to do? To help Nigerians change their mindset and psyche about government and governance in the country. We came from a background where corruption is endemic. Canada, I will tell you as a historian that in one of my work, I think my first master's thesis, the issue of corruption was associated with the Shehu Shagari's government. You are aware.
All right.
Secondly, the reason why the military took over power in 1983 under Major General Muhammadu Buhari is because they claim that the politicians are corrupt. So the how now is what Samuel Huntington now told us about the society. Samuel Huntington is a Latin American scholar who said that the society is what it is as a result of the polarization of the society and the politicization of the society. Now we'll break it down. When civilians come to power, we the citizens, we are the first set of human beings to put pressure on them, telling them that this is what they need to further the ethnic move of our people. I claim that until you develop your own area first, then others will not develop. Now these politicians have now cashed on the advice of the members of the society, and they are now using it, and they have used it so much so that the society is crying. Can't you see the irony in that place? The how is that we need to change our mentality, number one. Number two, we must enter into aggressive, campaign that service is the ultimate. Service is a means to an end. It is not an end in itself. That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Okay, so since seven,
we must be able to do that.
Since seven,
number three
go ahead.
Is that we must look at the resources we have at our disposal. What have we budgeted them for? Is it not painful? You are in the media and you heard that the Minister of Work, the current Minister of Work, said that some roads have been budgeted for 20 years.
Yeah.
And those roads have not been attended to, and they are part of our budget, and they are collecting from us yearly. They are recycled every day, but people are in government. Nobody is speaking about it. So how do you reconcile that? Does it not show you how corrupt the system is? I mean, the minds of Nigeria. Does it not show you how corrupt it is? So all they need is just a total overhaul. And it's not a one-day thing. Canada, it took Paul Kagame after the Rwandan Civil War, to change Rwanda in 13 years. 13 years, I mean 13 years. In 13 years, he changed Rwanda. That even today in Rwanda, the citizen will rather die than enter into corruption. Rwanda is the only African country that even nylon cannot be found on the street. It's about orientation.
Now, you've just said, sorry to pause you. You've just said service is not a means to an end. In Nigeria, that's not what we think. Whenever we give a service, we expect it to be a means to an end. How do we achieve that in this country? How do we get to the point where people see service as what it is? Service, a servant, even up to a houseboy definition of servant. How do we get it to that point, please?
There's something that the Marxists said. The Marxism, as a theory, says something about the transmutation of the qualitative and negation of negation. Okay. It may be sounding like jargon. But what I'm telling you, that in every seed of adversity, there's a sign of progress in it. I don't know whether you get it.
Okay.
At the initial stage, it will be difficult. If we tell Nigerians that when you help a child to cross the road, you don't need to express a praise because you have actually preserved life, you don't know whether that person will be the next president of Nigeria. It's service.
All right.
If we tell them that our school system must operate in such a manner that you don't need to bribe somebody for you to gain admission into the university, that's service.
Right.
If we tell them that you don't need to know somebody in federal government colleges before your son or daughter is admitted into the place, the thing should be done on merit, that is service. But when you tell them, they say, he's living in the world of Utopia. And after all, somebody like Taishilari advocated such principles. Look, let me tell you, every society gets the quality of people that they deserve.
All right.
But the Nigerian society must change.
All right. I have a caller now. I've got Obed from NTA. Let's take a listen to what Obed has got to say. Obed, greetings to you. Welcome on the show. Obed, can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, Kalada. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Kalada, I listen to your case. You see, leaders has a major role to play in setting the right precedent for his followers. But what we see today in Nigeria is the wrong precedent, where people are made to believe that they get into political office and then people are watching them. You understand? And Canada, look, the so-called figure that was ruled out about the earnings of our political disorder. Canada, you see, we must not deceive ourselves.
All right.
Okay? We must tell ourselves the truth. I don't know where somebody will just come out and make a decision. So are you telling me that they are mad people in and they are living like this? Most of them have never worked. They never even seek for apply for any employment. No business address. No business place. All this while they have been in government and they are living lavishly. Most of them have a country home. They build house over and scatter abroad. And you are telling Nigerians that they earn this kind of money? I think Nigeria is indeed a joke. We are joking in this country.
All right, Obed, thank you. All right, thank you very much.
They are suffering, most of them. The salaries are being big, the governor are being big, my state of assembly. We must tell ourselves the truth.
All right, then.
You understand? Let's not deceive ourselves, please.
All right, thank you very much. I've got to let you go. The phone lines are really terrible, so I do not know if I'll take any calls for the moment. But let's get back to you, Mr. Isaac. You were mentioning about what services, and you were saying people would have to understand that making sacrifices for the larger population is what service is. All right. So at this point, I'd like your final words because we've almost come to the end of the show. Hello.
Mike, yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Please go ahead.
Yes. My take here is this. Nigeria is our country. We have no other country.
All right.
Make no mistake about that.
All right. Yeah.
So we must all collectively join our hands together to build Nigeria of our dream, not the Nigerians of politician dream. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Isaac Nwadiunor. Thank you very much. I do appreciate.
Thank you.
All right, it's been a really I don't even know what to say, but the network has really been terrible, and I hear it's been terrible for most part of the day. But I'm going to try one more time, even if it's only one call I can take. Cost of governance, and the question remains: do you think that if we increase the salaries of these public service holders, I'm talking about the judicial officers, I'm talking about the president, I'm talking about the governors, I'm talking about their cabinet members, I'm talking about legislators, both at the upper and the lower chamber, do you think this will help fight corruption in Nigeria? What do you make of it? Or do you think, service should be service? Hello?
Hello, Canada. This is Pius from Owerri.
All right, Pius from Owerri, welcome. Let's get your thoughts, please.
All right. Oh, well, I think they are very economical with the truth. I mean, those people that started with the responsibility, I think they are very economical with the truth. You can't tell me a senator or a governor or the House of Assembly, National House of Assembly is earning 1 million or below that. He has car that worth 200 million.
Okay. Some of those things are provided by taxpayers, by the way. Remember, the legislators wanted to get new SUVs, and there was the uproar. So some of those things are gotten by taxpayers.
So,
hello.
With the truth, that is what I just think.
All right then.
It's not realistic. That is not realistic.
All right then. Thank you very much. We are economical with the truth. The phone lines are really terrible. Wow. How do I have a proper conversation today? But hey, we'll go for a quick commercial break. After that, the news update. When I come back, more talk. Stay tuned.